SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota Legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB.
Good morning, everyone. Committee on House Taxation will please come to order. I would ask everyone to please take a seat, have your phones turned off. If you plan on testifying today, make sure to sign in. The page will help you do the online sign in. If you have any handouts, please have the pages distribute them. Lobbyists, make sure you got your badges on. And for those joining online, welcome. If you need to contact us, our committee contact information can be found on the legislative website under Chambers and Committees, House Taxation. Lastly, a reminder that all testimony and all questions are to be addressed through the chair. At this time, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative Sosmowski.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Massey.
Here.
Mortensen, excused. Poirier, excused. Randolph.
Here.
Reimer.
Here.
Rowe, excused. Wahlberg.
Here.
Weems.
Here.
Weisgram.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
And Elward is excused, and we have a quorum.
All right, at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
It has been moved by Representative Randolph. I believe Representative Jensen may have had the jump on Representative Weems for the second. So those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, now we get to have the pages come up and introduce themselves. We're always excited to have you here. Please come up to the mic and state your name and where you're from, where you are in school, and any future plans you'd be willing to share, please.
Hello, my name is Derek Thompson. I'm from Hill City, South Dakota, and I'm a senior, and I plan to go to a four-year university to study political science as a pre-law.
My name's Cooper Falkenhagen. I'm a junior at Sally Buttes High School, and I plan to attend Mitchell Tech for electrician or play college football.
Very good, thank you. All right, well, let's move into consideration of the bills. We have our first one up, Senate Bill 21, to modify tax funds for elderly persons and persons with a disability. And we'll take proponent testimony at this time. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Brandy Eckert, and I'm an employee with Department of Revenue. I'm here before you today to ask for your support on Senate Bill 21. It's an act to modify tax refunds for elderly persons and persons with a disability. So I'd like to start off by giving you some history of the program. The sales and property tax refund for senior citizens and citizens with a disability began in 1974, serving just under 18,000 applicants with $1.9 million refunded. Eligibility is based on income, age, disability status, and residency. An applicant must have either been 65 years of age or older for the full year for which the refund is claimed, or have been declared disabled under Social Security or VA guidelines, and also a resident of South Dakota for that time. Currently, it is administered under 2 chapters of law with identical eligibility requirements, but operated as one cash assistance program. The amount of refund is not determined by how much sales or property tax is paid by the applicant. That is not evaluated. Rather, refunds are calculated using formulas from each chapter, and the greater amount is paid to the applicant. If there's money left over for the initial round, after the initial rounds of refunds, supplemental refunds not to exceed $100 are sent to the 1,000 eligible applicants with the lowest incomes. In 2024, we created an electronic application format, which saw an increase of 2% usage from 2024 to 2025. We also updated the paper application with bigger font, contrasting colors, and yes and no questions. Every year, we notify upwards of 70 organizations with a link to our application and a one-page advertising poster. Additionally, we provide press releases and social media blasts. Every eligible applicant in 2025 will receive an application from us in 2026. We also distribute paper applications to the county treasurer's offices throughout the state. Despite that outreach in 2025, there were only 1,054 eligible applicants, and $357,984 was refunded. Participation has declined significantly over time, resulting in the department requesting smaller appropriations to fund the program. This year, we asked for an appropriation of $425,000 with Senate Bill 20, which dropped from $450,000 in 2023. Also, keep in mind, $20,000 is allocated to the department for administrative costs. Even with the reduced appropriations over the years, the department has reverted approximately $193,000 of unused funds back to the general fund over the last 3 years, because the entire appropriation was not able to be utilized under the current distribution formulas. So then I want to discuss about what the Senate Bill 21 does. The current income limits, which increased 3% during the 2025 legislative session, are less than $16,566 for single-member households and less than $22,484 for multi-member households. So Senate Bill 21 actually updates the eligible income limits to less than $17,215 for single-member households and less than $23,265 for multi-member households, so that the maximum income limits are maintained 110% of poverty level, federal poverty level. So it also combines 2 chapters of law in one streamlined program. It is repealing the property tax refund chapter 1018A, but the eligibility requirements will remain the same. Everybody who was eligible under 1018A will also be eligible under 1045A. No eligible applicants will be losing their cash assistance payment. We chose to repeal the property tax statute because on average over the last 3 years, only 6% of the eligible applicants received a refund per this statute. With income levels being as low as they are, we find that the vast majority of eligible applicants don't own a home. Senate Bill 21 also modernizes the distribution formula to ensure all appropriated funds are utilized. So a single-member household is equal to 1 share, not to exceed $500. Multi-member households equals 2 shares, not to exceed $1,000. The total appropriation divided by the total shares determines the refund per share. Multi-member households receive twice the refund of single-member households. So I'd like to provide you an example of how this would work. So if we have $1,000 that has been appropriated to us, we have 3 single-member households, which equal 1 share each, and 1 multi-member, which equals 2 shares. That gives us a total of 5 shares. Each share would then be worth $200. So the single-member households would receive $200, and the multi-members would receive $400. So the total distribution would equal $1,000. So I'll conclude with some reasons why you should vote yes on Senate Bill 21. The eligibility requirements remain the same. All qualified applicants will receive refunds in accordance with the sales tax chapter. Also, I'd like to add there are still at least 6 other true property tax relief programs available to the applicants to apply for in addition to this program. The process modernizes distribution, reducing return checks and administrative costs. Currently, 10% of checks are returned due to outdated or incorrect addresses, and staff resources will be used more efficiently by consolidating 2 rounds of check distributions into 1. Applicants will receive their cash assistance more quickly by combining them into 1 program. No supplemental checks will be issued. So the current cost to issue a check is about $6 each. The legislative body has asked year after year why the entire appropriation doesn't get utilized. The distribution method outlined in Senate Bill 21 is what the department believes is the best solution to utilize the full appropriation. And most importantly, will get the refunds out quicker to those most in need. Lastly, Senate Bill 21 will increase average refund amounts. So based on the 2025 data, the average refund would increase by approximately $50. Please vote yes on Senate Bill 21, and I will stand by for questions.
Thank you. Do we have any further proponent testimony? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Eric Nelson with AARP South Dakota. I'm a government relations director and serve as our registered lobbyist. As you know, AARP is a membership organization for the 50-plus population. We have nearly 100,000 members here in South Dakota, and I'm up here to advocate for our 50-plus members and population. And we ask you to support Senate Bill 21. As you heard, this bill or this program has been around for over 50 years and truly targets those who need it most, low-income seniors that have lived in the state for a long period of time. We have a long history of supporting this program. We appreciate the support that the legislature has offered for this program over the years, and we view this bill as another step towards maybe modernizing it and making it more efficient. Through a lot of conversations in recent years between the legislature and the Department of Revenue. As the previous speaker mentioned, there's been efforts to update the application and to evaluate the income parameters for eligibility. And hopefully Senate Bill is another step to make sure that those that need the relief most are getting it in as easy, as efficient way as possible. The promotion of the program has become a very important topic over the last 2 to 3 years. AARP South Dakota has taken it upon itself to put some of our financial resources towards media buys to promote the program each spring leading up to the application deadline, and it's our hope to continue to do that. And having said all that, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, we ask you to support Senate Bill 21. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further proponent testimony? Seeing none. Any opponent testimony? Seeing none. The sponsor may provide any closing remarks you care to provide. Okay. Well, let's move right into committee questions. We'll close the taking of testimony. Yes, sir.
I have a question for Ms. Eckert.
Certainly, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question, and maybe my ears weren't clicked in yet this morning, but how many people received refunds from the program last year?
Mr. Chair, Brandy Ecker with Department of Revenue.
Please.
Representative, 1,054 eligible applicants in 2025.
Okay, and a follow-up. So the department has had a number of bills this year, and I just want to make sure this is the one I'm thinking about. You're not going to, if this goes through, you're not going to return any unused funds to the general fund this year. Is that correct? You're going to try to redistribute it?
Mr. Chair? Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Representative?
Thank you, sir. You made a comment that you send the paper applications out to the county treasurers. Do you know, are they actually putting them out on their counters?
Mr. Chair?
Please.
Yes, I believe they are. And they're, by statute, if somebody comes up to apply and needs assistance with applying, they're required to assist with that.
Is there any other ways that we can help facilitate this program and so people are aware of it?
Mr. Chair? Like I said, over the years we have increased our publicity about it, outreach, sorry, not publicity, but outreach on it. It's just a matter of spreading the word as much as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for Ms. Eckert.
Certainly.
So when we're talking about that this bill is going to take the money and it's going to distribute all of it, so none of it's going to go back into the general fund, why do you guys want to do that? Is that simpler for writing the checks, or why not just take the leftover as we're doing it and put it back in the general fund?
Mr. Chair?
Please.
That's what's been done over the past, so many years. And the committee, the legislative body, has asked why do we keep reverting monies back to the general fund? So this was our solution to fix that, to be able to distribute all the funds out. And you're looking at, approximately $50,000, so $50 more to these applicants that are very much in need.
Any other questions? All right, if not, we will, oh, yes, Representative.
Question for Ms. Eckert. I noticed that there were almost half the senators voted against this. Can you tell me what the main reason was?
Mr. Chair, thank you, Representative, for that question. The issue was we didn't have the limits. So we went back and amended Senate Bill 21 to add the $500 cap for the single member and the $1,000 for the multi-member. It was thought that, if we only had one applicant, then they would receive a jackpot, so to speak. So we decided to go with that cap on there. And another issue was they felt we would come back asking for more appropriations based on this streamlined program that we're doing. And that has not been the case over the course of the 50 plus years. It's actually, you've seen a decrease. So in 2023, we decreased the appropriation amount from $450,000 to $425,000. So we try to use what is appropriated to us. We don't come back and ask for more.
Further questions? Seeing none, we'll move to committee discussion and/or action.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Motion to
Representative.
pass.
All right, we have a motion to do pass from Representative Wahlberg, seconded by Representative Samowski. Any discussion? All right. Well, hearing none. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those opposed, no. The secretary will call the roll.
Representative Sosmowski.
Aye.
Jensen. Massey.
Aye.
Mortensen. Excused. Poirier. Excused. Randolph. Reimer.
Aye.
Rowe. Excused. Wahlberg.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wisegram.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
And Elward is excused. We have 8 yea, 1 nay, 4 excused.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the committee. Randy Dibert, Senator District 31, which is wonderful Lawrence County. First of all, I want to apologize for bringing a 20-page bill this morning. But seriously, this bill is a result of the summer study that was this last summer, and I know that I don't see any members of this committee that were on the summer study. But this was framed up in the summer study, so as I go through this, just kind of keep that in mind. This act is to establish a homeowner tax reduction fund, and it's to allow property tax relief from the fund. There's a couple things we need to know. This creates a depository for those tax relief dollars, and any revenue we find in the future from any source can go into this fund. So the concept, as I said, was from the summer study. It had a 15-0-1 vote. We had one member that was out. So it was unanimous. It was one of the few in the summer study that was unanimous. And when we went through the process, there's 3 steps to the process. Set up the fund, find some dollars to put into the fund, and determine how to distribute the dollars that you put in the fund. So that 3-step process is effective because once the fund is established, any of the legislation you see before us today can go into a common fund, rather than each bill bringing their own fund. So it's a central depository for those funds. So if we set up the fund this year and we find money this year, we don't have to determine how to distribute it, which is the 3rd step, till the following year because we have a year to work that out. So 3-step process, it's clean and it's effective. And that's why we're bringing this bill as the first step. You'll also see the last sentence of this bill, that the monies cannot be swept. They have to go to property tax relief. They can't be swept into the general fund. Of course, we know that can be changed by future legislation, but that's the intent. Separate and distinct fund. Any revenue we find from any source has a fund waiting to receive it, and we as a legislature will determine how to distribute it. With that, I ask you to support this bill that came out of the Senate with no votes on the floor or in committee. Thank you very much. I stand by for questions. Absolutely, as I described in my testimony. Thank you.
Proponent testimony. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Nathan Sanderson, South Dakota Retailers Association, rising in support of the bill this morning. I think Senator Dibert did a really nice job of outlining what is a good process for the potential of providing property tax relief. Find a bucket, put money in the bucket, disperse money out of the bucket, to be really simple. Obviously, this is the bucket and only the bucket. There are certainly some folks who will say things like, well, we should wait to do a bucket until we have money. Absolutely understand that approach. The flip side of that is there are so many different ways to potentially put dollars in the bucket that's been one of the hangups over time as we've tried to do property tax relief. Oh, I don't want to do a sales tax. I'd rather do a county sales tax. I prefer some other kind of mechanism. Hey, let's use video lottery money, or let's use sports gaming money, or whatever it is. Part of the challenge over time has been we've tried to wrap a number of things in a single package, and for various reasons, each individual component of the package doesn't necessarily pass muster, and so you don't end up with anything. And so I can absolutely recognize a philosophy that we should not create a depository until we have something to deposit into it. I can absolutely understand that approach. And I think I would also say, if you have a depository, then you have a place that you can actually take money in if you find a source that you like. One thing I would say, I worked in the Dugard administration when the administration eliminated the property tax reduction fund. Why did we do that? It was simply an administrative function. When we talk about things like, well, let's take an example, video lottery money. Very often you hear from constituents, where did all the video lottery money go that we said was going to go to education? Well, the $189 million or so that we generate through video lottery every year goes to the general fund, and then we spend about 3.5 times that on education. You spend $700 million on education. And so, well, 100% of those dollars go towards education. But there's no bucket that shows you, oh yeah, this is where we're spending the money. A similar thing happened with the Property Tax Reduction Fund a number of years ago. There was a fund, and money went into the fund, and then it went right into the general fund, and then got spent to buy down the education and special ed levies. And through simply an administrative process, no money went anywhere, but you were going from one bucket to another bucket into property tax relief. And so the idea was, let's just eliminate the Property Tax Reduction Fund and just save a step. Essentially, no money changes, just save a step. The problem with that was the one that's like the video lottery money. Where is all these dollars that we were using for property tax relief? Well, they're still there, but there's no bucket that you can see to demonstrate to people that we're providing property tax relief. That's why we support this approach. It was a good administrative matter to eliminate the property tax reduction fund. It was not a very good one for optics. And this will help demonstrate to citizens that any dollars going towards property tax relief are in fact going towards property tax relief. We'd encourage your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanderson. Any other proponent testimony? We'll move to opponent testimony. Any opponent testimony? All right. Oh, yes, sir.
Chad Ellsworth, Rapid City, for myself. And I'm opposing 125. Just basically, it's a tax.
It's a place to put money, and encouraging you to have leverage over the other outfit there that's getting SJR 504 and a Trojan horse. Please do not pass this bill. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the mic off. Yeah. Thank you. Any other opponent testimony? Seeing none, let's move into. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Any rebuttal, please? Yeah. Thanks, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Randy Dibert, District 31 Senate. A couple things. This theory came out, like I said, of the summer study far ahead of session. So anything in session, I can't vouch for where those items are going. The other thing I wanted to mention was, most of you know me, I keep it simple. That's why we have a paragraph bill that sets up a very simple fund. If you have too many items in a bill, if you would have the fund, the money, the mechanism, that may not pass through because one or the other item. So this takes one of those unknowns out of that formula and sets up the fund ahead of time. I'll also point out what we learned growing up. If you set up a savings account, you have more incentive to put dollars into it. So we have this fund. Whatever money we find, we can put into the fund, and then we can disperse the fund as we choose. So thank you very much. I look for your support.
Thank you, Senator Dibert. Are there any committee questions? Yes, Representative.
Question for Senator Dibert.
Please.
So we create the bucket, and I guess my question is, should we pass a bill this session or any other session that directs money into it? If the bill guides where the money will be dispersed to, I assume this will be just like a bank. It'll hold the money until dispersion. Is that true?
Senator?
Senator Randy Dibert, District 31. That's the concept. This is the, as you said, the bank. I was thinking as the account. It's synonymous in this example. Then once there's money, we populate that. Then we determine how we distribute it.
Any further questions? All right. Seeing nothing, let's move into committee discussion and/or action.
Mr. Chairman,
Representative Weems.
I move do pass on Senate Bill 20.
All right. Thank you. We have a motion by Representative Weems to do pass, seconded by Representative Randolph. Sorry, I didn't hear correctly. So, all righty. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When I left session last year, I said the one thing we didn't do was start a separate fund for property tax. For property tax funds for relief. So I'm really glad that Senator Dibert brought this bill this year, and I look forward to supporting it.
Further discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. Let's see. We have a motion to do pass SB 125, and all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, no. And the Secretary will call the roll.
Representative Sosmowski.
Aye.
Jensen. No. Massey.
Aye.
Mortensen, excused. Poirier, excused. Randolph. Aye. Reimer.
Aye.
Rowe, excused. Wahlberg.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Weisgram.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Elward is excused. 8 yea, 1 nay, 4 excused.
Anything else we need to talk about? All right. Motion to adjourn by Representative Weems, second, I believe, by Representative Randolph again, with an echo from Representative Samowski. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from peer. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. from children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Peer. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota Legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB.